Hello everyone, it's Enrique. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about the fantastic, the amazing, the beautiful R6. All right, man, I'm a little sick from Christmas break, winter break. I got sick. I can finally taste coffee again, so that's wonderful. There was one whole day where I didn't drink coffee. I didn't even feel like drinking coffee. I had to take a couple caffeine pills because headache. The reason I want to talk about the R6 is because it was my first real professional camera that I bought. I had other cameras before this, like the Canon M50, but there were some limitations. And this camera is probably the best entry-level camera for professionals that has everything. In this video, I don't want to talk about technical stuff, which you can find on Canon website or, 17,000 other videos, which I've probably seen also on YouTube. I kind of want to give you my actual experience with this camera. I've been shooting with it for about 2 years. And just to give you an idea, I do event photography. I usually do work for other businesses. So business content, photography and video. I use both. This is a great camera for both. I do event photography. I do portraits, headshots, corporate videos like promotional videos for businesses and everything. I've even done product photography with this camera. All these things with this camera. Is a very versatile camera, and that's why I think it's a great entry-level camera. It has everything. Now, why did I buy this from the M50? So if you have an M50 or a similar camera, once you start recording more and more and filming and using the camera, you will realize that you're gonna need 60 frames per second at some point to slow down the footage. It's such a useful setting. It's such a useful frame rate. And if the camera doesn't have it, then it sucks not having the tools to do your job. So the Canon R6 has not only 60 frames per second, but it can shoot 4K. It has internal body stabilization, which the other cameras didn't have. Maybe the lenses had some stabilization, but the camera didn't. So that helps a lot. For example, in event photography, right? If it's low light, which usually events, they don't have many lights. It's a dark environment. You want something that's as stable as possible so that you get better photos in the dark. Better stabilization. The stabilization will help that the photos don't come out blurry. So you can shoot at a lower shutter speed, for example, and not have a blurry image. Also, the internal stabilization helps me a ton for video work. If I have to do B-roll, for example, if I really want to be professional and take my time, then of course I will get the slider, or I will put it on the video tripod and, really make things smooth and shoot on a high frame rate. But when speed is of the essence, which usually business owners are like that, I need this tomorrow. I need this right now. Can you shoot this? You want to do it as quickly as possible. This is great because I can just have all the stabilization on. I even add some digital stabilization to my shots. And if you put it on 60 frames per second and you work on your movements, try to really move slow, you can get a really nice image, especially after putting it into an editing software like Final Cut or Premiere and stabilizing that. I'm turning on my 360 camera. I forgot to press record there. Don't forget to press record. Let me show you on the computer, right, what kind of portraits you can take. Is that good or not? You tell me. I think they're freaking awesome, okay? They're gonna be sharp. They're gonna be great photos, okay? If you know about these cameras, then you know this is a 20 megapixel camera. That's not the best out there. That's definitely nowhere near the best. But if your clients are gonna use the photos on the websites, on social media, they're not gonna need 45 megapixels, okay? And if you're shooting portraits, like in this case, for example, you don't really need to reframe all that much, because you can get up close and personal to your client, the subject. So, you know, is that sharp enough for you? I mean, that's beautiful, you know. What else? Let's see. Here we have Czar, the branding guy. Look at that photo. Wow. This was all shot with the R6. So if you want to do portrait work, you can use it for this. Absolutely. If you're thinking about, oh my God, the R5 has 45 megapixels, the R6 only has 20. What am I, you know, if you want to zoom in, for example, to, you know, his eye or something and have it be super sharp, then you're not going to be able to do that with the R6. Did I convince you already that it's good for product photography? The Canon EOS R6. I thought to myself, I'm gonna make this video. I don't care if I'm sick, because I've been sick for like 2 weeks. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. So take a look at some of these photos, right? All of these were shot with the R6. It's not only about the camera, it's also about what lens you're using. It's about, well, how good of a photographer are you? Which settings are you using? Talking about Canon, right? I haven't used Sony. I don't use Nikon. I just use Canon. That's just the system that I was introduced to from the beginning, and I bought into Canon. And since then, I tried to switch sometimes to, well, one time to Sony, and it was too much of a hassle. I started looking at the lenses, and then I was, oh, wait, can I use my own, you know, Canon lenses and use an adapter? But then that messes with the focus capability of the camera. It's not going to focus as well as if you stay within the system. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to buy the R5. Yeah, that's the one I'm shooting on right now. Now, I know I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not, you know, saying great things about the R6 and then I'm shooting with the R5. I got the R5 because it has higher megapixel count and I can be safer. It's like a little buffer for you. But, you know, if you have the money to spend it, of course, you know, buy the R5. But if budget is your concern, right, and you're starting out, or you're a professional photographer and you just don't want to spend that much on a body, you want to get a second or a third or fourth body, then the R6 is a great choice. Absolutely, 100%. Let's go back here to the computer, and I want to show you, these are just some of the portraits I've done, right? I've done real estate photos with the R6. I've been doing real estate photography with the R6 for years, and it works great. Look at that. Realtors that you work with, or brokers, or whoever wants to take real estate photos, they want to use it online. So, and the point is that you don't need 45 megapixels for online, unless you're zooming into, let's say, this, I don't know, this photo right here, and you want to get so close to the 1021, to the number here, and have it be sharp. That's why you would want a 45 megapixels, right? Other than that, the R6 is wonderful. Pick your lens, you know, pick a really nice lens with low aperture that you can use. But yeah, what do you think? Tell me that's not amazing. Look at that photo right there. That is really sharp, beautiful, shot with the R6. 16 millimeter lens. That was shot with the 16 to 35 millimeter lens. Not even RF. That was, well, I don't think there's an RF version. EF 16 to 35. And notice that I haven't talked about the R6 Mark II, right? I don't have the R6 Mark II, but that's still expensive. You know, that's new. That's a newer version that came out. Now, these R6s, you're able to get them used for a much lower price. So actually, I want to do that with you right now. I want to show you, I want to take a little deviate here from the plan, and just let's look at some of the pricing, right, for R6. If you're considering buying an R6, you can just go online and buy it used. Okay, so let's search for Canon R6. Canon R6, there it is. Look at that, $1,500. All right, it used to cost $2,600 or something like that. Okay, and they have different types of, you know, conditions, like new minus 1,800. If you go down, go down a little bit. I mean, it doesn't even make sense to get the excellent. Just go for the like new. You know, I've bought on KEH before, and they're a great option. Another option is Adorama. Okay, and actually, let's go back to the KEH website, right? Remember that price, 1,800, right? If you go to the Canon R6 Mark II, look at the price increase. and it's used, okay, 2,300. Well, that's for new. That's for new, right? 2,200 for used. So it doesn't even make sense, right? So you can't really buy it used. You might as well buy it new, the Canon R6 Mark II, right? And you have 4 more megapixels than this one. So, you know. Now let's go to Adorama, which is another website I use to get used gear, which is great. I highly recommend getting used gear. Don't skip that step. Don't go for the new stuff, you know, and waste all your budget on a camera body. Canon R6, right? You go to Adorama, Canon R6, and then you press the tab right here. You see the regular R6. I don't think it's even in there anymore, is it? Well, the R6 Mark II, we can see is 2,300 brand new. If we go to the used tab, okay, you can get it for a very good condition, 1,500. I've used my R5 before as a webcam. Imagine that. People were asking me, oh my God, I love the image on your Zoom. What camera are you using? What kind of webcam? And I said, oh, it's a Canon R5. I'm sure they looked it up. $3,500. What the heck? If you're on a budget, get the Canon R6. You know, don't even bother getting the Mark II, right? When you can get this used, Mark I. We've talked about megapixels. That's great, but it's not a deal killer to get the R6 and get 20 megapixels. Overheating, that is a big one. Okay, so that is definitely a minus, right, on this camera. But it's also a minus on the R5. It's also a minus on most cameras because they can't handle shooting 4K video, sometimes oversampling or downsampling from 6K, 8K, and shooting at 60 frames per second for 2 to 4 hours straight. They're not going to handle that. It's going to overheat. Let me take a little sip of coffee here. I found this little fan that goes on the back of the camera. If you see this little shiny thing right there, there's a fan that clamps on that with the little suction cups that goes on here. Let me show it to you. All right, I'm back. So this is the little fan that I bought. You can charge this little fan via USB-C, right? And the only issue is it's not gonna hold the charge for long. So you would need to have it plugged in while you're recording also. That's number one. The fan is spinning. Then number two, I always keep it on number two and just take it to the back of the camera like this. Okay, I don't know when my camera stopped recording, but I'm gonna say this because I just turned on the camera back. I just turned the camera, or I started recording again because the Canon R6 and R5, they have a recording limit, which sucks unless you're recording externally. I thought they fixed that on the R5. I guess not. I don't know. But yeah, if you're recording for 30 minutes or more, the camera is going to stop recording. It's going to say, oh, recording limit reached. So you need to press record again. That's a drawback for all these, both cameras, R6, R5. Now, you know what I haven't showed you? Videos. I want to show you some videos that I shot with the Canon R6. So this is real estate.
Inside, you will be greeted by a forever view of the pool and greenery.
That was the camera.
This home features the open floor plan that we all love.
See, you can do amazing things with the R6. You can definitely do real estate photography and video.
You'll appreciate the traditional details in this home. Like
now, you know, the camera has in-body stabilization and everything, but, you know, I had a gimbal that day, of course, because there's no way. You can do real estate video with just the camera and walking around, but you definitely need a gimbal.
And the bathroom is just incredible. In total, this property includes 5 ensuite bedrooms, 6.5 baths.
Yeah, so if you want to create professional videos on a budget, but you want the camera that has everything, then R6. This is a good example of detail. Let's see. It's a doctor. That's one of my clients.
El doctor Carlos Alberto Pardo es un médico egresado de la prestigiosa Universidad del Valle en la ciudad.
Okay, you see the quality?
Graduado en el año 1990.
That's 2 Canon R6s, right? On the doctor. I want to show you a cool video I did with for a promotion for the iGym is called. Let's see. The iGym. Yeah, I love this little video.
So the iGym optimizes modern neuroscience, creating new neural networks in the brain, almost rewiring the brain to meet.
All this I shot with the R6. Okay, look at the masterclass. Ready?
Hoy todos tenemos acceso a publicar publicidad a bajo costo y en poco tiempo gracias al acceso masivo a la tecnología. Las redes sociales y los medios impresos locales están inundados de publicidad mediocre y poco eficiente.
Okay, so this was all shot with the R6 as well. One more thing, because I did not show you products, right? Let me show you just one so you have an idea. Oh, the shoes. The shoes were cool. So let me show you the shoes. Huh? Can definitely have some great detail in your photos with the R6. The R6 is really great. Man, I should get commissions for the, like, I don't have an affiliate link or anything yet. But, you know, you're welcome, Canon. Flowers. Look at the detail in these flowers. And it was shot on 20 megapixels. I hope that was helpful to you. Like I said, I didn't want to go over all the technical details of this camera. I just wanted to show you from my perspective, from how I use it. If this video was helpful at all to you, please press the like button. It'll help me out since I'm starting my channel. And please consider subscribing if you want to see more of my videos. See you next time.